Manifestation can be really easy if you know the steps to take. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Eleanor, and I'm an intuitive empath. Someone encouraged me, actually challenged me to do 365 days of recording on YouTube. And so here I am, recording my thoughts, beliefs, stories. I have been awake spiritually for 27 years, and I've had some really amazing magic happen through that period of time. And I know that there's a lot of people waking up spiritually now that need to know that it's okay, you're not going crazy. It's not something that's weird and wacky. There's people that have done this prior to you, and it actually is that you're stepping into the real world. You're stepping into a higher dimension, and you're interacting in the fifth dimension rather than just in the third dimension. So the third dimension is where we feel separate, and hot and cold, yes and right, good and bad, yes and right, yes and no, good and bad, all of the things. And light and dark, for example, right? When you step into the fifth dimension, you are actually stepping into unity consciousness, where you can feel the unified field. You can read the information that's in the field, and you can create magic. It's a beautiful experience. So I want to share my journey of the very first time that I did this. And it was really cool because it was way before I had seen. In fact, it was before any of the stuff came out that is now sort of mainstream knowledge. For example, the movie The Secret hadn't come out yet. I hadn't seen any of the law of attraction stuff with Esther and Jerry Hicks, and Abraham. I had never read a book. I was still learning and growing, and I was part of that group that I was in. So if you haven't watched any of the other days that I have been doing, then just subscribe down here and hit the bell, plus go in and check out some of the old content. So this is day 11. So we're in double numbers now, right? Of 365 days. This is going to be very interesting to see if I commit to this all the way through. I know that I am, actually. I'm just saying that to myself. And so what happened was I hadn't listened to anything, I hadn't read anything, but I was a single mum living in far north Queensland in a place called Holloways Beach. And I was a remedial massage therapist, and I'd only just sort of started out. And so I had a couple of new clients or regular clients, but nothing that were, that could sustain me. And so I had this thing where I would just print out a piece of paper and stick it on the notice board in our local beach and get phone calls from people. That was the way you sort of advertised back then. If you didn't have the money to go into the white pages or the yellow pages, right, which is another thing. So this is way before the internet really exploded. And lo and behold, my printer or my computer, I can't even remember which one, broke down. And I had no way of printing anything. Now, in hindsight, with the person that I am now, I should have just got a piece of paper and wrote on it. But no, my ego wouldn't let me just write on it like, I wanted it to be professional and to look a certain way. And so I had no way in my mind of promoting myself and getting new clients. And I had all these bills come in, single mum, and I was doing it hard. One day, one of my friends says to me, and I'm complaining, I had maybe 3 bills and my rent was due and all the things. And one of my friends said to me, why don't you just, how did she put it? She said, why don't you just imagine that you're debt free? And something hit a chord. Now, I look back now in history, and there was a time, and it's still the same, when people with NLP practitioners or anyone on that spiritual edge would say that that was the wrong word, saying that you're debt free, because it's in the negative. For whatever reason, it actually worked for me. So I just started imagining myself as debt free. I even remember saying to my mum, ringing my mum up and saying, even if this doesn't work, it just feels so good. So I would just imagine myself feeling debt free. What does it feel like to be debt free? I felt a lot lighter. I felt relief. I felt expansive. There was all these feelings that I was having, experiencing myself as debt free. And it was interesting because the very first day, so say that was the Monday, I can't remember exactly when I started, but just say it was a Monday. The very first day, it was like a continuous experience of having to go, I'm debt free, and feel that feeling. And I'm telling you, I would say 40, 50, 60 times that day, I would catch myself and go back into debt free because I'd catch myself thinking about the debt, worrying about my bills, worrying how I was going to feed the kids, all of those things. And I'd go, oh, no, that's right, I'm debt free. And I just continuously put myself into that space of I'm debt free, I'm debt free, I'm debt free. I had to watch myself because there was times when my ego, my mind would go, well, now that you're debt free, go and spend some money, right? Which was very interesting. And so the second day, I didn't have to pick myself up so much. It was like I would catch myself, but it was maybe half the time. It would be I'm debt free, and then half the time I would, I'd be going back into the bills, and then I'd pick myself up again. So then on the third day, I got to this point where I realized that it actually doesn't matter whether I'm saying the words or not. What was happening was when I thought about the bills, I would go down in my frequency. I'd feel heavy and low and worry and concern and doubt and all of those things. And when I was thinking about being debt free, I felt lighter, my vibration would rise, and I felt like I could take on the world, right? So what I did on that third day was I would just be more tuned to the vibration that I was feeling and raise my vibration every time I felt my vibration go down. Now, what was interesting was there was a couple of times that I felt, I don't know if I feel worthy to be debt free. I don't think that I'm good enough to be debt free. And there was little uh, emotional discrepancies in my field that I needed to clean up, which I did. What happened was, and this is all I did, so all I did was be consciously aware of cleaning up my vibration, of raising my vibration, and continuously expressing myself as being debt free. What happened was, I think it was on the fourth day, it might have been the fifth. This is a long time ago, but I have a feeling it was on the fourth day. I get a phone call from the local hairdresser saying she has just got the new manager of a bed and breakfast, because there was no Airbnb back then. The local hairdresser, the local bed and breakfast, which was actually 2 streets down from me, and there was a new manager, and she was sitting in her seat right that moment, and she was freaking out because she had 4 English people coming from the UK tomorrow, and they had all booked massages, and she didn't have a massage therapist. So the hairdresser had rung me to see if I was available. At the time, and this shows you how long ago it was, I was charging $50 a massage, right? I did 4 massages in a row, so that's an hour each. And these were very tall, very robust UK tourists. I did 4 massages in a row, and those 4 people got another massage every day they were there. In that particular bed and breakfast, they were there for 4 days. So I did 4 massages in 4 days, every day. And when they left that room, I also had another couple that came in, and they had another 2 massages. So even though that doesn't seem like a lot of money now, back then it was, and all my bills I was able to pay off in that moment. So all I did was change my vibration, raise my vibration, tune into the I am debt free. So the I am was really important. It wasn't in the future. It was I am now debt free, and experience that feeling now. Cleaned up the emotions that were getting in the way and holding me back. And I stepped into that frequency, and that frequency matched up with the universe and synced in and brought that. Why did that therapist, that hairdresser, think of me? There was several massage therapists in the area, and she picked me. So what was really interesting is after that, I thought, wow, I've done it. I've worked out the key. I'm super excited. I've got it, and I know how to change the world and the universe. And I was so excited about finding this new method and this new strategy that I had. Unfortunately, what happened was, once I got my result, I just went back into my normal everyday. I started, if you're following my journey, you'll hear that I have manifested very well throughout my life in various forms. It's not until the last 5 years that I started understanding the secrets of alchemy, and I went, that's what I was doing. I was actually experiencing, the desire to have an end result. I was feeling it now. I was cleaning up what was getting in the way in my current reality. Which was the 4th step. And then I was taking action. And even though the action was only being self-aware and picking up the phone, right, when she rang, it was still an action that I took. What happened though, I didn't realize that I was in an oscillating structure, and that my unconscious behaviors of not feeling good enough would come back and stop me from even trying again. So throughout my life, I've had these massive peaks of manifesting some impossible things, right? So 3 shooting stars, crazy stuff that I have experienced. However, I would dip back into unconsciousness and be plugged back into the matrix, and then I'd have another experience, and then I'd dip again, and I'd have another experience, and I'd dip again. And it took me all these years to understand that there's 3 different types of structures. You can either be stuck, where you can't create anything because you've got too many things going on. You can oscillate, which is what I was doing, going backwards and forwards, maybe getting the result and then going back to the old patterns again. Or there's flow. And that is where what I learned in the last 5 years is to be in a flow pattern. And that means being in a continuous, supportive environment where you are listening to your intuition, you're taking action, you're clearing the things that are getting in the way, and you're moving on a continuous forward motion towards your desired end result and living the life you love. And since then, I've had some really crazy experiences. Moved to the beautiful location of Shell Harbour. I lived at Shell Harbour and now live at Shell Cove, which is just next to it. I breezed through a 4.5 centimeter brain tumor. That was crazy, and I'll share that in another YouTube. I've got 365 days, so I've got to keep some of my stories. And I met this beautiful man at the beach, right? So his last name is Makepeace, and my maiden name used to be Payne, Payne. And so it is an unbelievable journey when you can understand the secrets of alchemy, really step into your magic and create from a place of flow rather than oscillating or stuck. So if you're interested in following me along for the 365 days, please put a comment in and let me know that you've been watching and what you think of these experiences. And if you've got any of your own stories, I'd love for you to share them in there as well. I'm not anyone extraordinary. I'm an ordinary woman from, a girl from Blacktown in New South Wales. And if you don't know where Blacktown is, it's, it took me years and years to actually even say that I used to come from Blacktown. So, yeah, it is where we're all heading, is to move into this place where we are connected and in flow with the universe. So links down below, my website's in there, go and check it out, and I will catch you tomorrow.